Alright, you guys, so I wanted to come in today. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to say that, oh, I have script, I don't usually, do scripts or anything like that. Sometimes stuff that I say goes off the cuff of whatever comes to my mind sometimes. And that's probably something I probably shouldn't do, but I do it anyway. Nothing is ever scripted. For that, unless, like, when I go to my, when I go into my trovo side of things, I never have a plan set for what I'm going to do for the day, most of the time. Sometimes I do, my titles are always off when I'm live or when I'm doing things, but when it comes to Final Fantasy IX, my current series that you guys can watch, I usually talk about, I usually know what's going on because I usually upload it afterwards, and sometimes things are going to be late on YouTube for reasons, because I am slow at getting things up onto YouTube and stuff. But I do want you guys to know, for any of you, there is one thing that I have to really that really made me laugh this week. I do get some enjoyment out of things. I really enjoy pillars in Fortnite. It's one of those things. But there's another one that I really want to share with you. And I usually don't like to share political stuff. I'm try not to. But it's one of those things that I do tend to get into talking about it because it is pertaining to the United States, and the United States is in a world of trouble right now within the next 4 years. Hopefully not too seriously in trouble like it was the last 4 years. Last 4 years were a lot better than this coming 4 years with Donald Trump, and trust me, it's not one of those things that I like to really go in and say, but um, with within all of this, let me go to um my thing, and I don't think you guys really need to see this, but hey, if you guys, I'm down here at the very bottom, um, that is my stream thing, but I wanted to share, because I live stream pretty much every day. That's why YouTube's kind of, I try to upload every day, and trying to be better about trying to do this as something I really enjoy doing. But I want you guys to know that there's a couple things that I wanted to share. You guys can kind of see the title of this. Is that I wanted to really share with you the understanding of what one of the executive orders Donald Trump signed. This guy's fair and balanced. The Ring of Fire, however you like to do it. I pretty much do talk a lot about. I do usually watch a lot of political stuff on YouTube. I watch a lot of Ring of Fire. I watch a lot of Fair and Balanced. I do occasionally get Fair and Balanced. The Damage Report, Brian Tyler Cohen, Luke Beasley, David Pakman. All of those people I tend to listen to a lot of when it comes to political stuff. NBC, CBS, I do get those as well. So it's not like I am completely listening to one side of the coin, or listen to mainstream or independent media. I do not all of the stuff that I do get, guys. We are going to talk about this here in a second, but I wanted to share with you guys a thing real quick. Where I tend to get my news a lot, for all of it. I get my news Now, I usually I get my news from now I get my news from a couple of sources. Now I'm not going to give you the other one either. I was going to share it, but I do get them through a couple. Now I might start getting and utilizing a couple of places. But I use Smart News as well. I also do occasionally will read a Fox News article. If the headline kind of is like, okay, what are they talking about? What are they saying within all of this? What's going on? I don't listen to much of anything. I sometimes will get a Daily Caller. Sometimes I will get other places. Some of the stuff I will get is right wing. Some of the stuff I'll get is left wing. I listen to mainly watch those people. I listen to whatever comes on my news break app, and also what comes on Smart News. But hey, I usually tend to do both of those. And then whatever I get through the aforementioned people that I said earlier. TYT, I'll occasionally watch TYT, but I don't usually take them completely and utter truth in all the matter. Because I feel like TYT is not doing as great as some of these other people that I tend to watch. And I tend to mainly watch The Ring of Fire and David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen more than any of these other ones. But I still will listen to these when there's something good that comes from them. What are they talking about? I usually try to go around a lot of places. But anyway, so basically this week, Donald Trump signed an executive order that this is why when I talk about being funny, and being absolutely funny, I had a funny week this week. Playing Pillars, had a fun week. Laughing, enjoying Pillars in Fortnite. Love that game mode. It makes fun for a little while, and then it gets old after a little bit. But you guys can always catch that over on my live streams, which are pretty much over on the Trovo side. Schedule's always every day, of course, except for tomorrow. I will not be live tomorrow afternoon. For what it's worth. Usually in the afternoons, but Saturdays are the only times I'm off because I have Barnacle Nerdgasm Tech Talk. I have Tech Talk every day, every Saturday. To understand some of the technologies outside of what goes on in this. I do occasionally will get tech news from Linus Media Group, from them through Tech Talk and Spawnwave are my technical gaming news and stuff, but I don't rarely ever listen to them anymore. I haven't listened to them in like religiously daily. I have changed what I've listened to. But what was so funny is that Trump signs an executive order this week that basically declares everyone in the country as a woman. And for anybody who doesn't understand what I'm talking about, go read biology. I'm sorry, you haven't said biology, and I'm going to tell you, if for anybody, okay, and for anybody who I didn't even understand this, my mom did. My mom knew more than I did about this. I probably have learned about this in biology, probably forgot about it, but anyway, let's share with you guys what Farron has to say, because I normally don't like to do talking head videos like this, but this is one that really, really struck out to me, that basically within this country, the United States officially has no men. By official means, United States has no men. Now, some people are going to construe that as, oh, we have men, but no. By this law. Now, of course, everybody who's considered this, you just listen.
So a few days ago, I talked to you about Stephen Miller's plan for the Trump administration, where he said that we're basically just going to bombard you with so much crap that the media is not going to be able to kind of sort through all of it. We're going to overload it to the point where we hope people will stop caring. Well, they stuck to that. That is pretty much what has happened this week, with Donald Trump immediately getting sworn in and then issuing a flurry of executive orders, executive actions, some of them dumber than the previous ones, but all of them pretty horrible. And it's been difficult for the media, especially those of us that have been snowed in Florida under 9 inches of snow for the first time in our lives. It's been a little hard for us to kind of keep track of everything that's going on, but we're going to continue doing it, even if it takes an eternity. But one of the funnier things that happened this week that was actually meant to be very oppressive to the transgender community was that Donald Trump signed an executive order that defined what a man is and what a woman is, according, of course, to this man who clearly doesn't understand science. And based on the very poor non-scientific wording of Donald Trump's executive order, he officially declared that every single person in the United States is actually a woman.
Yep.
By his own executive order, Donald Trump is a woman. His sons are now women. I, under Donald Trump's order, am a woman. So, here's what the order said, and this was initially pointed out by Democratic Representative Sarah McBride, who, of course, is the first transgender woman to serve in the United States Congress. But here's what...
Okay, so for any of you, yes, most of you probably know who I am. I am trans, of course, and living in the United States, and basically, technically, this disorder was supposed to aim for demystifying or removing anybody who was identified as any marker other than male or female, anybody who has an X marker, or anybody who has documentation relating to that. Unfortunately, this executive order does state that this order states that anybody is that now. Sarah McBride, of course, has gotten in the crossfire with the House. Of course, that was a big topic as well. Basically, Sarah can't use the women's restroom now because of what's going on. And for any of you who are in the comments saying right now that any of you in the comments right now that are saying that are going to say this, and I know you probably are, I'm not going to respond to you on any of this. If you are going to go right out there and say that I'm a man, no, you can go right along, because anybody who starts talking about that, just remember this, that I'm going to be who I am, and nobody can change that. Nobody can. Doesn't matter. I will be, and who I will always be. You can change that all you want, but it's only in your imagination. For any of it. But Sarah McBride got in, and this whole flurry of things has been going on for the last freaking while. They've basically gone after trans people. They've gone after they're going after gays again. They're going after all these people that are LGBTQ. And remember, and I'm going to tell you right now, if the Supreme Court decides to, as long as this executive order is still in place, and the Supreme Court decides to repeal the same-sex marriage, everybody in the United States has to get a divorce because of this executive order. Okay? And all of this. But Sarah McBride on this is basically came out and basically came out and said this, that basically basic biology, guys, biology is what you need to really be studying. And I didn't even know this until I realized, oh, okay, this makes much more sense. My mom told me about it too, by the way.
The order said.
But
it defines someone female as a person belonging at conception to the sex that produces the large reproductive cell, whilst someone male is a person belonging at conception to the sex that produces the small reproductive cell. Now, of course, that sounds scientific, right? He's making this sound like, oh boy, he did his homework, right? Well, he didn't. Because that second thing, the one that defines what a male is, doesn't exist at conception. At conception, every single embryo is female. Those hormones that activate the genes that create the Y chromosome, see, they don't come until weeks later, typically maybe at best about 6 weeks later, not at conception. At conception, everybody is female, essentially. Let me read you this. Anyone with a background in biology will know that all human embryos follow a female developmental path until the activation of the SRY gene several weeks after conception, which sparks sexual differentiation. Embryos with an XY genotype will develop biologically male traits linked to the Y chromosome at around 6 weeks. Before that point, human embryos only have biologically female traits linked to the X chromosome. In fact, genitalia at conception is phenotypically female, as the National Library of Medicine notes. So, if we, as Trump did in the executive order, take it to conception only, we're all women. So...
Yep, by that logic, in the United States, nobody is male in this country. Nobody. And if you are going out there and you say, let me back it up, and I can tell you that how many of you saying that transgender has been around since, been complaining about the 1990s. Well, my mom knew about this in biology when she was in high school. And she's now 60. She's older than, she's 60 years old. She's basically in her 60s. And so you want to talk about people who don't conceptually understand biology, don't seem to understand that this actually existed, and knowing about these developmental stuff happened in the 60s, 70s. This existed. So for anybody who goes out there and says that you don't understand basic biology, I didn't even know that. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, and I'm trans, and to be honest, my mom knew that, and she knew that even before I came out as trans. I'm not gonna, and it's like, people don't seem to listen, people don't seem to understand what's going on all this. It's basically, you guys, nobody can really define, if they say, oh, well, at conception of 6 weeks, okay, well then, okay, you're saying conception considered after 6 weeks. Well, you can't even tell after 6 weeks. That's why they always say 20 weeks at least, and they still can't even get it right. Because trust me, you don't. People can make mistakes, and I didn't even know that there were other biology stuff that's out there. There's a lot of more to biology than people meet the eye. And there's advanced biology that talks about XY chromosomes being in female. So if you want to talk about the reproductive cell, well, That's conception. So basically, that's basically at a woman, pretty much. And all of this is just basically to basically that Trump is incompetent. Trump doesn't seem to know, and if he went through the supposedly you know, I haven't gone into that, but yeah, so basically Donald Trump screwed up and now has basically signed everybody in the United States that way. I'm not going to go throughout this whole thing, but he goes into the rest of this. I'll just play the rest of it, and then I'm going to get off for you guys. But just to know that Donald Trump pretty much screwed up with all of this. The people making these laws don't seem to understand biology. If you don't have any answers, like they don't seem to understand that biology is a problem. You know, when they go in and look at all these things, when they say, okay, why can't I go and get the care that I need? If I can't go and have myself, if I can't go and get the care that I need for hormones, because I'm using different hormones than what I am upon, and well, if I can't do that, then they shouldn't be allowed to get these hormones at a young age by any means, because they're claiming that all these hormones are, it's gonna, no, because every stinking person has both hormones. It's just that most men, I'm not saying all, because most men produce more testosterone than a woman will ever produce. Okay? Just by hypothetically, cisgendered men will produce testosterone a lot more than cisgendered women. Cisgendered women will produce estrogen, more estrogen than the testosterone that men will receive. And that is just a proven fact. But there are cases out there where men have to go and get testosterone because they don't have enough testosterone levels in their body producing at all. Women have to go and get estrogen levels because they aren't producing they're not able to produce the estrogen in their body. Okay? Now, I am not going to say that when you take these drugs, everything has a cause and effect. Everything that you take in this world, everything that you eat, everything that you do in life will always have a cause that you want to do, an effect. Every time that I go to the store and I say, okay, I want to go out and buy this video game. I'm going to use video games because this is what we primarily do here. I'm not going to talk politics on this. If I do, it's occasional. But if you go and look at the video games, you go out and you say, okay, well, I'm going to go out and buy this video game. Okay, this video game is going to have a cause. The cause and effect. You go out and buy this game. The effect is you're going to have fun. You're going to have fun playing that video game. Okay, you go out and buy. Let's say you go out and buy Planet Coaster 2, or Planet Coaster, or City Skylines, for that matter. Those kind of games. You get to go in and play games where you build a city or build a theme park, and you have fun building and being creative. Okay? That is fantastic. That gives you pleasure. Okay? but there's also some side effects. Side effects is that, hey, I'm enjoying this game so much, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play for this for an hour. Next thing you know, it's 3-4 hours later, and you forget what time it is. I've done it. I played City Skylines and sat there and played for a couple hours, 3 hours, when I said I was only going to sit down there for an hour or two. I ended up playing longer than I should have. It's the same thing. I sit down and I play Balloons. Okay, Balloons, fantastic game. I sit there, I play it longer than I'm supposed to. Okay, there are effects that video games are good. Video games are fantastic. Video games bring out the best in things. But when you go and you take, say, when you need to take a pill, what are the side effects when you go out? You know, everything that you do, you know, you can go out and play. Let me go back to video games for a second, because I want to talk about Grand Theft Auto. You go out and you play Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is a fantastic game. You know, I don't play it because I don't like the game. But you can choose to play however you want to. I just don't play it because it doesn't feel right for me to play a game about breaking the law. But that's your own choice and your own right to go and play that game. You can go out and you can play that game, you can have fun, you can do whatever you want in that video game. But then you go out and you say, okay, well, I can do one of two things. I can say, okay, I'm just going to let this be the video game, I'm going to leave it as that, and I'll just do it in a video game. There are people out there that can literally go out and play Grand Theft Auto and go out there and play video game, play it as like real life. But sadly, that's how people see video games. People see only the bad in them because of the things that people go out there and do. People want to see shock and awe, and people want to see what goes wrong with these. You know, I see a thing where I went on and saying that video games are an addiction. Video games can become an addiction, okay? But they're not going to become a complete and utter addiction if you can know your limits, control yourself, and do those things. It's the same thing when you go out and take medication. Okay? You need that medication to survive. You know, you go out and you take, people have to take out EpiPens to survive. They might have to have it every now and then for it, and they have to live and they have to survive on it because they need it. Okay? That they have to be able to produce. They're not able to produce they're not able to produce I can't remember exactly the name of it off the top of my head, but I know what it is. It's insulin. They can't produce the insulin that they need, and so, you know, they have to survive off of it. Sometimes drugs are a little bit different than video games. Sometimes we have to survive off of these things. Some of us do, and you know, some of us need to have that medicine for taking to make sure that we get better. You know, Mucinex. We're taking Mucinex. There's still going to be cause. Is this going to help you get better slow? It's going to help you get better a little bit quicker. It's going to help you get better but it doesn't mean that it's going to protect you completely. It's not going to heal you 100% of the time. Your body still has it, but it just helps your body to fight better. That's why when you look at vaccines will save your life. Just because I'm autistic too, but I'm going to tell you, vaccines don't make you autism. And if it does, I'd rather be autistic than be taking these things. But going through the medication that these trans people need to survive. Trans people use this to help them in their life to be who they are. These things, they say they work, but there's going to be a occasional case out there that the media is portraying out there, that they're utilizing to harm trans persons, saying trans people are bad because they go out and it's like 1 in a million that's going to happen from a trans person. It's it's 99% of all trans people don't detransition. 1% only detransition because of financial stability, because they made a mistake, and that happens. Sometimes we make mistakes, and we all have to own up to our own mistakes that we make. And if we don't, we choose to continue to, we all make mistakes, but sometimes those mistakes, they aren't mistakes. I transitioning is not a mistake for me. Transitioning for somebody else might be, but the vast majority of trans people don't transition to change their gender to fit their gender. To fit their gender. Most of the time, people will transition and they're going to be happy with that transition. It's just like you go out and having surgery on your knee hip replacement surgery, or back surgery, or whatever. All of it is risky. Okay, everything has a risk. Everything has inherent risks. And it doesn't matter what kind of medicine you take, it doesn't matter how you do it. What Donald Trump is doing here, hopefully he corrects his mistake and not bans LGBTQ people. And changes his course and purposely, hopefully that the Supreme Court doesn't let trans people down, doesn't let LGBTQ people down. And that's the key. Hopefully that the Supreme Court says we're going to protect this, we're going to do it, and that. But anyway, before I get off, let's.
I don't know what that.
I don't know exactly what these people interpret this is. Don't know how they interpret this and why they did this. But I'm just going to tell you that we're all considerably women. If the Supreme Court decides to, like he's going to say here, decides to take away a woman's, take away the right to, they take away the right to have an abortion, right? Well, they basically said we're going to take it back down to the states. Well, the states basically said you can't have an abortion. Well, now guess what? We're all considered women, and if we're all considered women, men can't go have vasectomy. Men can't go get their nuts chopped off for whatever reason, because of that, and that's pretty much what it is, basically. But anyway, I'm gonna let this finish.
Means for us. I don't know if we have to make some serious life changes. Hopefully Donald Trump doesn't ban same-sex marriage, because I really don't want to have to get a divorce. But under his order, we are, all of us, regardless of what's in your pants, regardless of how you identify, we are all women today. Thank you to Donald Trump, who is also, by the way, under his own order, a woman. Thanks for watching today.
Yep. By that means, is Trump totally delusional? Yes, he is. I'm not going any further on all this. But guys, I gotta get off. So if you guys want to see more content, I will be on I'll be back probably with the next episode of Final Fantasy IX, City Skylines, or whatever's next. Basically, I just wanted to let you guys know that, this is all problems within this country, is that this country is going to crap before it'll ever get better, and it's going to be a long while before that ever happens. So, anyway, if you guys want to see more content from me, you guys can always check out the you guys can always come to the live streams. You guys can always, to the Trovo side, you guys can always subscribe to this channel. Remember, I told you I play video games. You guys can check out this here. But I just wanted to come out and share with you guys that basically everybody is declared a woman now. And for anybody who doesn't know, go read Basic Biology 101, and if you find a book that does not mention that, then you're gonna be in a sore hurt, because that's the truth. And you know, so basically we're all now conceptually a woman. I'm a woman. Even by the definition of the law, I'm a woman now. Doesn't mean, you know, it's all that. And technically I am a woman, but by law, if I go and get myself changed, technically I don't need to, because I'm already a woman. Technically everything in this country, by your logic, if you're a man living in the United States and you are known as a man, you are now known as a woman. You can go fight it in court, and hopefully you can fight that thing in court and get it for it. But you know, I'm not going to. I'm going to let the ACLU and I'm going to let some of these other people fight this in court and let it go. Hopefully the Supreme Court can not allow trans people to exist, and by eradicating them, hopefully the Supreme Court can protect us and do all that. But we'll have to wait and see. So anyway, I will catch you guys in the next episode. Check out these videos, hit that like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Oh, and let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you think that Farron's right? Do you think that I'm right? Do you think that Brian Tyler Cohen's right? Do you think that Sarah McBride's right? If you think that we're wrong, that I'm sorry. Even my mom knows that you're probably going to end up finding out that you're not right, and by that matter. So anyway, we will catch you guys later. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, hit that bell notification too. Remember, mostly we do video games here, 90% of it, unless it directly relates to the LGBTQ community. I will most likely be doing a lot of video games and stuff like that. So just remember, LGBTQ stuff occasionally will happen through here, but only occasional, like this, where it is. So anyway, we'll catch you guys later.